You're probably wondering why I'm wearing this. Well, it's because of a pumpkin. It is week 3 of our SquadGhouls challenge, and like I said last week, this month has been super inspirational for me personally because you guys are a talented bunch. If you've missed parts 1 and 2, this series is basically just me reacting to your Halloween submissions on my Discord server and offering little bits of critique, but in all honesty, it has mostly just been me fangirling over your talent because oh my god, there is so much to learn from every single submission. I'm taking this month to celebrate you guys and your amazing skills, so if you want to play along, make sure you're in my Discord server. The prompt list has been up on my community post and my Instagram pin post for the longest time, but today we're going to take a look at some more submissions up until the prompt for day 21, Pug Phase. I will be leaving links to all of our featured artists today down in the description below, so make sure you go show them some love. If you enjoyed this video, please do remember to like and subscribe. Comment below what you think about these paintings. But without much further ado, let's take a look at SquadGhouls week 3. Okay, so just FYI, I made this hat myself. Look, it's a mushroom. I made it myself. I crocheted it from scratch and I love it, and I shared it on the server and people seem to think it's pretty cute as well, so it's a win. Okay, so here we go, week 3. This is the Halloween submissions channel on my Discord server where we're taking a look at some of your submissions, and I actually put a bunch of Jackie Chan emojis in here so I knew where we left off. I should probably have... Okay, so I've opened up the prompt list as well, just so we know where we are. So here we go. We left off at day 14, Dentist Robot. However, we do have some retro submissions, as in some submissions that people have submitted for previous days. Anyway, so the first one we have is day 12, Portal by Sai, and the description is day 12 Portal, another fish. I'm sorry, I'm obsessed with them lately. If I draw one more fish tomorrow, I just won't post it. We'll see how that goes. But okay. So it is. I just got it. I feel like I went through like a million emotions just now. But basically, it is a fish going through one portal, coming out the other. So you have the tail going into this portal, into this end of the portal, I suppose, and the head coming out of that end. Wow! And do you know what I love? The fish is stunning, concept stunning. As we've already established, Sai is probably going to grow up to be a concept artist. But what I love most is these bubbles, because there is so much color without seeming overpowering, and also the vibrancy of these bubbles really counteracts the neutral tones in the fish, which is amazing. Love it. In terms of critique, I would only really say maybe a little more finesse in the tail, either that or maybe blur it a little more so it looks out of focus. That way it's a quick cheat, you don't have to add too many details. So yeah, maybe just blur the tail out and it will look like it's too far forward in the foreground, and that way you don't have to mess around with it. But excellent job, Sai, I love it. Okay, also side note, we should probably play like a drinking game. Oh, I don't have a drink on me, but take a drink every time I say I love it, because that's apparently my thing. Okay, listen, I just love very, very, very easily. Okay, so anyway, we have our first submission from Spoopy. Okay, and it is Blue Paw Prints, which was our prompt for day 13. So, oh, it's written right there. I should have just read it. Okay, blue paw prints. Okay, so it seems like it is a living room in the dark, and then you have some blue paw prints that are kind of glowing in the dark. That is so cool. Oh my gosh, that is such a fun take on the prompt in the first place, but also just the visual of it is just absolutely... The visual of it is just absolutely stunning. I love the mood. It seems so dark and so dramatic. And then you have these little paw prints, which on the one hand, it could just be Clifford or Blue from Blue's Clues. But on the other hand, it could be some kind of gigantic animal that can walk up the walls. So that's spoopy. On brand, but love it so much. I love all the textures, but I would maybe say it's a little too much texture in that because everything is textured, the texture kind of loses its textural impact, if that makes sense. So maybe a few areas of less or no texture, and that way it would kind of balance out the amazing texture, and that way it will draw attention to the texture itself. So that's my only critique, but love the perspective as well, which is a very interesting, you don't really see this part of the room very often in paintings, so really unique, really cool. Thank you, Spoopy. And we have another entry from Sai for day 13, blue paw prints. Okay, can I just... Wow. Okay, so it's like the paw print is the portal. Huh? No, but seriously, this is such a fun composition. Oh my gosh. So the paw print is kind of like a window into a blue city, and it looks like a city that is on water from all of these specular highlights. And you okay, I need to calm down. Wow. Okay, this is stunning, Sai. Oh my goodness. So beautiful, and I really love that the paw print itself isn't like perfectly even, like these aren't perfect ovals. There's a lot of like organic shapes, and oh my gosh, I can't even begin to tell you how much I love it. There is such a strong contrast up here against this darkness of what I'm guessing is like a wall of some sort that you're seeing through, or a tunnel. Doesn't matter, because the focus is the actual city, and you have nailed it. Just amazing work. I literally have no critique here, Sai, because this is so brilliant. Wow, I am stunned. Excellent work. Okay, so we have an entry from Maria for day 15, line art. Okay, so it is a straightforward character with line art, and I especially really love the little bits of shadow for where you see a bit of ambient occlusion or a bit of drop shadow. Amazing job. The anatomy is perfect. I genuinely can't find a flaw in the anatomy itself, which is just amazing, because as someone who gets a lot of critique for bad anatomy, this is so inspirational, Maria. Amazing job. I don't even really have any critique because it fulfills the prompt. It has, you know, plenty more detail than just line art. I would say maybe, and this is just a stylistic note, maybe some highlights in the hair, so that way it kind of balances out the details in the rest of the body, and so that way the fabric is the only really solid thing. And yeah, that's pretty much the only detail, the only critique I have, because this is beautiful. I love the pose. It is very fluid, very natural looking. The anatomy is pretty much perfect. So amazing job, Maria. Okay, another submission from Sai for day 14, dentist robots. Okay, so I should probably read the message. Dentist robots tried to focus on storytelling. Anyway, good night. I'm so sleepy. Same. Okay, so there is a lot of story going on. And at the same time, if you zoom in, I might zoom in on the screen right now. If you zoom in, you can tell that nothing is super rendered. So that tells us about simplification, which is something I struggle with a lot. I tend to over render things and I tend to over explain things. So this is a massive learning curve for me personally. There is a lot for me to gain from this kind of painting because you can clearly tell there's, you know, a dentist and assistant up here doing their work with some like robot arms and some really high-tech gadgets, and there's people here watching, and there's no rendering here, and at the same time you can tell that that's people watching the procedure, which is just amazing. So excellent job, Sai. And this is a very unusual color palette. At least I personally don't see it very often, is to have a split complementary between red and green and blue, and maybe bits of purple as well. So amazing job. Love everything about it. Only critique I would maybe give is these panels up here. They might be a little too bright and a little out of perspective, because if you want them to look like they are against like an entry wall here, maybe push them, maybe rotate them inwards a little more, and push the perspective like on the Z-axis a little more, and darken them just a little more so they're not taking away from all of this bright action here. But apart from that, excellent job. Okay, so we have another submission from Akima, and gonna be honest, I saw this on Instagram and fell in love with it, but I'm so happy to see it here. Day 16, bird interrupted. It says the quality is terrible because Discord won't let me upload the actual file, so I had to screenshot and stuff. Full quality on DeviantArt if anyone is interested. But even just in low quality, this is amazing. So bird interrupted was a prompt that came from a bird that was literally like stuck in my balcony. My balcony is right here, and it was stuck and it couldn't fly, and it interrupted the bird's entire day and my entire day, and it was amazing. I made a new friend that day. But in this scene, you see a character in the middle of a very dark, gloomy, snowy forest. I say dark, I mean like gray. So dark in terms of not saturated. And you have a lot of ravens, I'm guessing, just flocking around, and this gives you so much story because culturally speaking, ravens tend to be quite ominous, quite harbinger of danger sort of vibes, and so to have so many and none of them are actually causing the character to be very perturbed. Today on learning big words with Srish. No, but the character seems pretty solid, if a little upset, I would say, but not frightened by the birds. So that tells us a lot about the character themselves, where the character is kind of almost friendly with these ravens, almost comfortable around them, to a point where the character is feeling just fine being vulnerable around these birds. And that story is so engaging. And I love the perspective of the atmospheric perspective, of these trees in the back kind of fading away and the trees up front being a little darker, and then to have all of these ravens. I don't really have any critique for what you've painted per se, but I would say maybe a few foreground branches. So like just like a random really dark branch coming in here, or maybe some up here. And they kind of, not only do they push all the action into the midground, they also act like a framing element. So I'll try to digitally put in some extra shapes and you can see what I mean. They kind of almost close the scene, tighten it straight to the character. But apart from that, I really love the storytelling. You did an amazing job here. All right, so Clarence has day 15 line art and he has also painted it in for us. So let's look at the line art first. Beautiful job. I really like the action lines. Do you see how there's a lot of curves that lead straight to the character's face? And this actually makes me think a little bit of Ross Tran's character Nima, so which is a character we all know and love. So Clarence's rendition of a similar character is really, really cool. And I really like the structured eyebrow. You know your girl likes a structured brow. So bonus points for that. But I also really like that you have indications of these almost texture lines, or like lines that indicate the shine of the hair and the flow of the hair, which is always really helpful when you're rendering. So just as a side note, let's take a look at the rendered version, which is just as beautiful. Honestly, in my personal opinion, so alive. So alive. There is so much warmth in the face, but that's counterbalanced by the cool tone of like, I'm guessing this is a kimono sleeve, and also a really bright lilac highlight. I love a lilac highlight. I don't use it nearly enough, and this has just inspired me to. It is so beautiful, and it really punches up the character so nicely. Beautiful job, Clarence. Amazing. I would say maybe have a smaller element up here because it feels a little unbalanced, because you have a lot of big shapes here and this place is kind of empty, but I guess that is quite subjective because most people might think that that's a good balance for all the action that's happening down here. I'm just extra, so I would love to see maybe a little element up here, but apart from that, beautiful work. Okay, so we have another submission from Sai for day 15 line art. Was fun but would not attempt again, wrist in pain. Understandably, that is all kinds of hatching. Oh my gosh. And okay, so let me gather my thoughts. Hatching is, in my opinion, the most difficult way to render anything at all, because not only is it a lot of repetitive action over and over again, you also have to make sure that you're using the right colors so it doesn't just look like a flat mess. All right, and so Sai has really done just the perfect kind of hatching where you have all these different like color variation and hue variation and lightness variation, value shifts. Beautiful job. And there is so much texture here, and it is balanced out by flatter, smoother objects around. So, you know, it really draws all of the focus right in the center. So much action going on in that phase, but at the same time you can tell it's a phase. That is amazing. I physically could never. So this is, I might try this. You have inspired me to give this a go, because this, you've made it look so easy, but I know for a fact that this would have driven you insane doing this. It would drive me insane doing this. So beautiful work. I have literally like no critique about the hatching. It's amazing. How do you have the patience for this? Because wow, you'd have to be a saint in order to do this. Amazing work. Okay, we have another entry from Breezy for day 18, Hooked. I caught the one who asked, but it escaped. I thought of doing a giant hook made of metal with its string/rope being silky and someone's head is being stabbed by its pointy tip. Image in motion like hook is being pulled very fast. then I remembered my skills have limits. Okay, so it seems like a hook with a rope coming out of it, and there is a lot of blood around the very tip of the hook. Really straightforward, love it. There is a very strong sense of rhythm with the composition, because you see that there's a lot of curves going around, and there's little bits of texture on the upper and lower corner as well, and so that kind of acts like a framing element for the hook itself. There is a lot of story going on. However, I would just say that maybe this texture in the ground, I would maybe give it a little bit of tint, maybe a bit of green tint. And I feel like this is a similar critique I've given to Breezy in the past, about maybe tinting the gray bits. Although I guess that is stylistic, you know, you want that red to really pop, so you desaturate everything. But the reason I say maybe give it a little bit of a green tint is because it will really make that red pop even more, just because they're complementary colors. But overall, I really like it. I really like the storytelling, the imaginativeness, and amazing job, Breezy. Okay, so we have Yeony again, or Yeony, I don't know. I'm sorry, but they've submitted a liner, day 15. Wow, the amount of detail is amazing. You have a character right in the front, and you have, I feel like, a secondary character back here. You have a dismembered torso, you have a bunch of wooden detail, a bunch of stone detail, a bunch of a hook. So maybe this is like a butcher's shop, because this could be a butcher, you know, and this could be just a lady going to buy meat. So Halloweeny, so spooky, so many little details, so much going on in the scene. I really like all the leading lines that lead you straight to the character. Even if the leading lines are on the other character, they all kind of lead you towards this female character, and she's kind of the only place in the scene where you have empty space, quiet space, so your eye is able to rest on her and on this torso back here. So that straight away tells us the exact place you want your audience to focus. So excellent work. I would only say maybe play with the line weight a little more, so maybe balance out thick lines with thinner ones, and that way it looks a little more dynamic, you know. So but it's plenty dynamic already, but it might help to make the piece flow just a little bit better. So that's something to play around with. But apart from that, beautiful amount of details, amazing job. Okay, and finally we have an entry from Clarence for day 19, Sweet Tooth. I have a massive sweet tooth, as is evidenced by the amount of money I have paid dentists and the nightmares I have about dentists. So it seems like this character has a mouthful of sweets for teeth, and it looks like those little, like, you know, the sour candy gummies with sugar around them, which is my favorite kind of candy. At any given time, I will always pick sour candy over regular candy, but it seems like a lot of those sugary candies instead of the character's teeth. Pretty straightforward, a literal interpretation. We love to see it, and I really like the lighting especially. I feel like Clarence is a pro at lighting, because look at the directional shadows. They are consistent, but they are not so dark that the details are completely obscured. I would maybe say I would darken this half of the teeth just a touch more, just so it kind of supports the idea that it's kind of folding into the mouth. But apart from that, beautiful work. I love the simplification, and I love that all the texture is concentrated right on the teeth. It really like crops you into that spot. So amazing job. Okay, so that seems to be all of the entries so far. Thank you so much, you guys, for submissions, and I can't wait to see your final take on these prompts. Next week, we're gonna finish up this series with the final week plus a couple of days of prompts. So if you guys want one final chance to be featured on this channel, make sure you join my Discord server and share some of your submissions in the right channel. Can I just say, when I first made this prompt list, I really didn't expect anyone to participate. Like, I know there's like a million Halloween challenges out there, so the fact that not only are you guys participating, but every single week I have so many new submissions to look at, it's just completely mind-blowing. So thank you so much for taking the time to paint for this challenge. I appreciate you guys so much. But yeah, like I said, final reaction video will be up next week, so make sure you hop on these prompts and share your submissions in the Discord server. Of course, I super appreciate a like and comment, and make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you don't miss out the new videos. I put up new content every Sunday, so make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. And that's about all I have to say today, so thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. Check out some more videos up here, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!